In my last episode, I had the honor of interviewing Dr. Cordain's student and now CEO of the Paleo Diet, Trevor Connor, and a coworker of his, Dr. Griffin, where they shared what the Paleo Diet is and isn't, why certain foods can make autoimmune disease worse, and the science behind why it is a truly healthy lifestyle-based way of eating. I have been a fan of the Paleo Diet since my second daughter was an infant and I had to go gluten-free for her. I already couldn't eat corn, dairy, or soy. Then to add gluten into that, I didn't know what to eat. The Paleo Diet saved me. It naturally eliminates those foods, and it is a nutrient-dense and nourishing way to eat. The word diet makes it feel icky, but it's just a way of eating that focuses on nutrient-dense whole foods that support the body's health instead of harming it. This week, I want to walk you through what the Paleo Diet looks like in our modern-day life. It's one thing to know what is healthy for us and another to actually know what it looks like to follow the principles in our modern times. Welcome to the Therapeutic Food Solutions podcast. I'm your host, Marian Mitchell. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach, therapeutic diet expert, and founder of The Road to Living Whole. There are many different diets out there. It's hard to know which one is right for you with your chronic illness and autoimmune disease. In this podcast, I'm going to share with you the foundational pieces every single therapeutic diet out there shares, and also how to use the best one for your particular diagnosis. If you've been looking for a meal planning partner, help navigating the complicated healthcare system, and want to feel better quickly, I'm your girl. Grab your kombucha and notebook. Let's dive in. If you've looked into my story or have been following me for a while, you know that I was a serial dieter in my teens and 20s. At first, my goal was to be as thin as possible, but as my health deteriorated, I wanted to feel and look good. In my pursuit to improve my and my family's health, I tried all the mainstream diets that promised to solve all of my health ailments and keep me healthy for life. After my daughter was born, I had to limit my diet even more severely due to our food restrictions, and I didn't know what to eat. I had been reading for years on nutrition and studying nutrition for years, and in the middle of my health coaching program through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, I knew I needed to eat real whole foods. For my health, I needed to include meat, and the Paleo Diet fit the bill. And at the time, it was all the rage for those suffering from autoimmune disease, for good reason. What I loved about it then is that it was a nutrient-dense diet that focuses a lot on the quality of how our food is raised. As a former vegan, I wanted animals to be raised naturally and slaughtered humanely. It also naturally eliminated the foods that I already couldn't eat: gluten, corn, soy, and if necessary, which in my case it is, dairy. It also removes foods that contain anti-nutrients that break down the health of the body, especially a body that's highly inflamed. My health was transformed. The biggest change outwardly that people could see is I went from a dishwater blonde to a medium brown in my hair color. My weight balanced out naturally. My stomach issues resolved. My psoriasis went away. It was amazing. I could eat a lot of food and stay in a healthy caloric range as well, which is huge because I don't do well when I'm hungry. And really, it is one of the least restrictive out of all of the health-related ways of eating out there. You easily get all the nutrients you need. Food tastes amazing and it nourishes the body and the soul. You can still have sweet and savory desserts, and once you're in a healthy place, there's room to make some versions of foods that aren't considered paleo as well. The entire principle of the diet is to focus on eating the most nutrient-dense foods possible and as close to their whole form as possible. This is the foundation of any healthy diet. In the Paleo Diet, you minimize foods that contain anti-nutrients that can break down your health. This includes grains, all grains, legumes, dairy, seed oils, artificial sweeteners, ultra-processed foods, and drinks. The biggest question is, what does this look like in real life? Compared to the standard American diet and what we've been taught since elementary school, this conflicts with everything we've been taught about nutrition. The standard American breakfast is usually something sweet like cereal, a bagel, or a pastry, and a sugar-filled coffee. Sometimes it's no breakfast and just coffee. Lunch is a sandwich with chips and a soda. Snacks are usually crackers or more chips or sometimes a candy bar. Dinner is usually pasta heavy or heavy on the rice, Maybe a protein, maybe not. If there is, it's a very small portion. Dessert is ice cream or chips or popcorn. Okay, and then you contrast that with what a typical paleo type day could look like. So a typical paleo type day would be you start it with eggs with avocado and berries, black coffee, or maybe you add a little bit of honey to your coffee. And then for lunch is a large salad with a variety of different vegetables and greens. Maybe you throw some fruit and nuts and seeds in there. And then you have 30 to 40 grams of protein. Then you add an olive oil and vinegar-based dressing, maybe with some different herbs and spices. And then for snack, if you have one, it's maybe a piece of fruit with some nuts or maybe some vegetables with guacamole. And then for dinner, you'll have a good size amount of protein again, 30 to 50 grams. You'll have roasted vegetables and maybe some roasted sweet potato while coating them in a healthy fat with lots of herbs and spices for flavor. And usually you're going to add some fermented food in there somewhere as well. Dessert, if you want one, can be berries or maybe a fruit popsicle that you've made, or maybe it's a dessert using real ingredients and a sweetener like honey. One of my favorites is a homemade chocolate fudge that is coconut oil, cocoa powder, vanilla, honey, and salt, and it is amazeballs. There might be a nut butter in there as well, now that I think about it. Anyways, so it's coconut oil, almond butter, cocoa powder, vanilla, honey, salt, and it is amazing. That's a huge difference from what we've been taught growing up. Comparing the two, you have one that is carb heavy, grain heavy, low in protein, low in variety, low in nutrient density. A person eating the standard American diet pretty much eats the same 8 foods repeatedly, and 3 of them pretty much with every meal. That's really low variety. The other contains sufficient protein, variety of foods, variety of nutrients, and high nutrient density. You can eat upwards of 20 different foods in a day this way. And you can, if you're willing to go to the farmer's market and try a bunch of new foods, you can eat over 100 different foods over the course of the year by eating seasonally and trying new things. There are usually a few holdups people have when they want to approach changing their diet, and paleo is an option. One is, aren't grains high in B vitamins and fiber? I don't know where else we get them. We don't need grains to get B vitamins and fiber. Grains are high in anti-nutrients, and the vitamins they contain are actually pretty low amounts. Wheat specifically has been bred to contain much more gluten than they do naturally without human intervention. It's heavily sprayed with glyphosate, so all the stalks ripen at the same time. They're harvested in an unnatural way that doesn't allow for the anti-nutrients to be released before processing. Then to top it all off, they are highly overconsumed in our society today. A much better source of B vitamins and fiber are dark leafy greens, a variety of vegetables and fruits. And then animal-based sources, eggs and liver, are also great sources of B vitamins. A high-grain, high-carb diet is a recipe for gut dysbiosis, insulin resistance, leaky gut, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, and all other disorders related to these. Wheat has properties in it that are directly linked to leaky gut, and removing it, even without celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, will help heal your leaky gut. And really, it's an essential step in that process. Grains are not something that you can just walk around and pick in nature. You don't just walk by, pick up grass, and eat it as a human, right? Cows do that. Humans don't. Same with legumes. Legumes, while they do have some health properties like being high in B vitamins and fiber, they contain a large amount of anti-nutrients that inflame the body, and they aren't found in a natural diet from foraging and hunting. A lot of people shy away from the word diet for good reason. There's a lot of variations in the way people have applied the principles of the diet, and some have made it super restrictive. It's not supposed to be or feel restrictive. The entire goal is to nourish the body well so it functions optimally and you can feel your best and are free of disease. By eating food that is found naturally in the earth with as much variety as possible, making sure it looks, smells, and tastes amazing, your health naturally flourishes. You can still have dessert. You just make ones that are nutrient dense while still tasting amazing. You can still eat foods that bring you comfort and aren't considered paleo every now and then as well. It's not meant to be restrictive. It's meant to be freeing and nourishing as the foundation. And then from there, there's some wiggle room for fun foods, especially when there's special events, holidays, and things like that. This is all why I truly believe the paleo diet is the foundational healthy diet. I have watched hundreds of clients' health transform by following the principles of the diet, and honestly, they love it. They don't feel restricted. They find it easy to fall back into when they've gotten derailed onto junk food. And that's what it's all about. You feel your best, enjoy your life, enjoy the food that you eat, and enjoy eating food that loves you back. If this is something you want to follow for yourself, I have the resources to help you get started quickly and easily. I've done all the hard work for you with meal plans and recipes and guides to help you work through the most common roadblocks. And of course, you can take advantage of a coaching session so you feel confident and supported moving forward. Quick recap, I do believe that the paleo diet is the foundational healthy diet. It is the baseline of a healthy diet. And when you follow the principles of the diet, 80% of the time, your health will transform for the better. You will feel amazing. You won't be inflamed anymore. You won't have stomach issues anymore. The pain and aches that you feel when you wake up, they'll be gone because your body has what it needs to function optimally. That 20% leaves room for life. And that's what it's all about, is the foundation is strong and we have room for the things that just bring us joy every now and then. And I think that is where freedom begins, is when you feel your best and there's no guilt when you want to eat something that you really, really enjoy. I mean, obviously, if it triggers your autoimmune systems, if you're allergic to it, don't eat it. But there's so much wiggle room in there that there's no guilt or shame needed. And that to me is huge. So the foundations of the diet is that you're minimizing or completely eliminating foods that break down your health. And this is grains, all grains, legumes, dairy, seed oils, artificial sweeteners, ultra-processed foods and drinks. And you're focusing on whole, real food. That is really it. And it's really, really cool. Yes, there are some variations in there, but at its foundation, it's just a nutrient-dense way of eating. And if you want some guidance, I am totally here for you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you found this episode helpful, would you do me a favor and help others find it by leaving a review, sharing a screenshot on social media, or sharing the link with a friend? By you sharing what you've learned, others are able to find this podcast and join our community. Be sure to check out my website, www.roadtolivingwhole.com, for over 160 delicious recipes, a variety of meal plans, and a blog packed full of even more healthy living tips. If you'd like to learn more about how to work with me as your coach, you can schedule a free consult through www.roadtolivingwhole.com/health-coaching/. Until next time, friend. Bye.